being open to all.
बरं.
Hello, good evening, madam.
Good evening.
Yeah, do I am audible?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. You are also audible. Ma'am, please, can you share your slides so that we can see that whether it is properly sharing?
But I want to operate my own presentation.
Yes, I'm your own presentation so that it can be sharing properly because I have made you a co-host. So that once share your screen.
Can you see it now?
Yes, I'm your own presentation so that it can be sharing.
Hello, ma'am.
Hello?
Please click on green tab, share screen.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
आता हे कसं करायचं आधी हे मला स्लाइड शो होऊन जावं लागणार.
Click on green tab, share screen.
You just
Okay, okay.
slide show ला करा reverse timing use reverse timing करायचं दिसतच नाही झूमचं मला इथे सांग. Yes, I did. Can you see now?
No, ma'am, no.
हो. हो केलं ना त्याच्यावर हो माहिती हो. ओपन केलंय मी स्लाइड शो ओपन ठेवलाय. फक्त मला हे नाही समजत ते आपोआप ते टाइम घ्यायला लागले. मला टाइम नको पाहिजे स्लाइड्सला. आरोनी मला पण ते ऑटो टायमिंग झाले त्याचं कशामुळे झाले कळत नाही. आहे का मी दुसरी सिस्टीम बदलू का तोपर्यंत 5-10 मिनिटं. आवाज आहे म्हणूनच मी लॅपटॉप घेतलाय पण त्याच्यावर आपोआपच मी जस्ट पेनड्राईव्ह स्लाइड लोड केलं ना प्रेझेंटेशन आपोआपच टाइम घ्यायला लागले ते मला टाइम नको त्याला कारण प्रत्येक स्लाइडला वेगळा टाइम लागू शकतो मला. म्हणजे पीपीटी अगोदर हे बंद करू का सगळं. ओपन केलं. बाकीच्यांना म्यूट करा. मला चाललंच नाही कुठे दिसतच नाही.
Madam, hello. Hi, ma'am. Just what do you do? Share the screen. In share screen, no, you'll be seeing your desktop or the folder where your presentation is there. If you can see in the share screen your folder.
Share screen, yes.
Yes, in the share screen you can see your desktop.
Ma'am, open Zoom tab.
Zoom tab आहे.
Okay. Zoom tab वरतीच आहात ना तुम्ही.
स्क्रीन डाव्या बाजूला दिसतोय आणि त्याच्या खाली माझं प्रेझेंटेशन आहे.
Okay. Click on that. Yes. Okay.
हा मॅम आता दिसते
Okay, ma'am. Okay,
प्रेझेंटेशन.
ma'am.
फक्त स्लाइड शो करा मॅडम एकदा.
स्लाइड शो करू.
Yes,
स्लाइड शो
yes.
केलं की ऑटो टाइम घ्यायला लागले की बेटा ते.
No, it's now continue, ma'am. No problem.
एकदा चेक करा मॅडम स्लाइड शो होतोय का.
हं.
हा झाला ना मॅडम,
Okay,
काय
it's
प्रॉब्लेम
okay.
नाही, दिसते.
नाही हे उघडतं आता बघा, थोड्या वेळाने
Okay,
आपोआपच
okay.
स्लाइड येते.
Okay.
ते नकोय मला. टायमिंग घेता येते. आपण टाइम देतो ना एखाद्या स्लाइड शोला. आता
एक सेकंड मॅम, मी चेक करते काय त्याला ऑप्शन आहे का बंद करण्यासाठी, आणि मग तुम्हाला सांगते मी तुम्हाला. एक सेकंड द्या.
नाहीतर मग मी आपल्या डेस्कटॉप खाली जाऊन बसेल. हे बघ हे आपोआप व्हायला लागलं.
मॅडम फोन लावून देता. हॅलो
हॅलो.
या मॅडम, ते स्लाइड शोचं ऑप्शन नाही सापडत आहे, पण ऍक्च्युली तुम्ही तसंच स्लाइड ओपन केला पीपीटी आणि तसंच नेक्स्ट स्लाइड केली तरी चालेल. दिसतंय ते.
नाही तेच हवंय मला. हॅलो.
हा मॅम, तुम्ही स्लाइड शो ओपन केला ना.
हो. हा हा. हो का, ठीक आहे, मी एक सिस्टम बदलते. हा, एक 5 मिनिट. हो. हा हा. हो. अच्छा, त्यातनच का, पण ते एक सेकंड. तसं आता मी हे स्लाइड शो बंद करू, एस्केप करते. हा, दिसत आहेत का. हो, ते तर करावंच लागेल मला. हो, ते करू नका. चालेल चालेल. ओके. आणि हो हो, चालेल चालेल चालेल.
आलं. हे बंद करून ठेवते. हॅलो
हॅलो सर.
हॅलो
हॅलो सर.
हा, आता ओके आहे ना?
स्लाइड शेअर नाही केलेली सर.
आता करतोय जस्ट.
हो या.
दिसतं का?
सर यस यस.
हा सर दिसतोय. फक्त सर हे करा, स्लाइड
शो करा सर,
करा.
स्लाइड शो करा. यस ओके सर.
आल्यात ना?
हा सर येतोय.
आणि ॲनिमेट केलं तोच प्रॉब्लेम.
झालं तर परत बॅक बदल.
तर त्यांनी एक सोपी आयडिया सांगितली. जर तसं झालं तर काय?
स्लाइड शो करू. स्लाइड शो नंतर करून घे सुरू करतो. इको येत होतं मला, शांत येत होतं.
हॅलो हॅलो.
हा हॅलो मॅम.
इको येतोय का?
नाही नाही, नो, काहीच इको वगैरे नाहीये.
माझा कॅमेरा ठीक आहे? ऍडजस्टमेंट?
यस 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 यस. हॅलो भोपळे मॅम. हॅलो.
Yes. We are starting in just 2 minutes. Good evening, ma'am. Am I audible?
यस सर.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. A very warm welcome to online national seminar on immunity boosting through diet during pandemic COVID-19, organized by IQAC and Department of Home Science of Rajaram College, Kolhapur. I am Dr. Ruchikesh Dalvi, and I am going to moderate today's session. India and the world, as we all know, are going through a major and unprecedented crisis of pandemic COVID-19. Government and our COVID warriors are doing everything to safeguard the citizens from the health disaster. However, these efforts to counter the challenge of COVID-19 cannot be successful unless citizens become aware and act to stop the spread of this disease. Well, it is said that knowledge empowers you to shape the situation, ignorance empowers the situation to shape you. And therefore, it is very important to educate ourselves and learn every day. With this very purpose in our heart, we at Rajaram College have been organizing a series of online seminars since the outbreak of pandemic COVID-19 to highlight the various issues that would empower participants to mitigate and adapt to the evolving situation. Today, we are going to add one more brick in this defense line against the threat of COVID-19 by pondering on a topic immunity boosting through diet during pandemic COVID-19. And to enlighten us on this subject, Joining us today is Dr. Asha Patil Arya. Today's session will be presided over by our Honorable Principal, Dr. A.S. Khimnar sir. May I now request Head of the Home Science Department in Rajaram College, Srimati D.A. Daune Madam, to introduce our speaker of the day, Dr. Asha Patil Madam.
A very good evening to all of respected dignitaries. Dr. A.S. Khimnar sir, Principal, Rajaram College, Kolhapur. Dr. Y.C. Attar Madam, Dr. H.N. Katre sir, and our today's speaker, Dr. Asha Patil Arya Madam, and all dear participants. A warm welcome to all of you. Today, we are here to attend national seminar on immunity boosting through diet during COVID-19. As we all know that nowadays, it becomes very essential to enhance our immunity to prevent pandemic COVID-19. A balanced diet with some modifications can be very effective to boost our immune functions to be free from infections. Our respected Government of India also taking preventive measures for the same through the Ayush Mantralaya to be away from this COVID-19. So, with the consistent motivation of our respected principal sir, Department of Home Science and IQAC Cell of Rajaram College here have planned a seminar to boost our immunity with the help of modified and enriched indigenous diet. Today, we are very fortunate to have a renowned person in the field of food science and nutrition from a very well-known agriculture university, that is Vasantrao Naik Marathwada Krishi Vidyapith Parbhani, that is Dr. Asha Patil Arya, Professor and Head, Department of Food Science and Nutrition, College of Community Science, Vasantrao Naik Agriculture University, Parbhani, Maharashtra. She is always a mentor for me from my graduation days. I am very fortunate to have her today. She has 34 years of teaching experiences. Again, she has 34 years of experience of research as well as extension activities. Her research work is always admired and recognized by Department of Science and Technology, ICAR, and NIN also. She got FAO Fellowship, Food and Agriculture Organization Fellowship for special training at Cornell University, Ithaca, New York, in the field of maternal and child nutrition. She got Certificate of Excellence from University in 2005. She has also got Kranti Jyoti Puraskar in 2008, Anganwadi Mitra Puraskar by ZP Parbhani and Hingoli in 2008. She has got Best Teacher Award in 2009 and in 2011 at university level. Her research experience is so wide. She has guided patient work as major guide. She has for PhD and MSc students. She has done 3 research projects as principal investigator and for 3 research projects as co-investigator. She has published more than 80 research papers in reputed journals. She is very active in extension activities through different radio talks and TV talks also. So we are very fortunate to have a very renowned person in the field of food science and nutrition. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. Now, next is presidential address. Now, I humbly request our principal, Dr. A.S. Khimnar sir, to deliver his presidential address. Sir, please. Sir will be addressing us in just a few minutes.
अनम्यूट केलं पण दिसत नाहीये याच्यावर दिसत नाही माझा ऑडिओ पण ओपन केलाय अनम्यूट पण केलंय तरी सुद्धा दिसत का नाही मग दिसायला पाहिजे म्हणजे तर बघून घ्या बरं आणि इथे तर काय म्हणजे अदरवाईज दिसतंय एरवी
I request our principal, Dr. A. Khemnar sir, to deliver his presidential address, please.
Okay. याच्यावर स्क्रीन नाही दिसत पण दिसतंय का
Yes, sir, you are visible.
Okay, ठीक आहे. Okay, good evening, friends. First of all, I would like to welcome you all for participating in this one-day national seminar on immunity boosting through diet during pandemic COVID-19. Friends, it's a very important issue in our life, particularly what we are consuming in our day-to-day life depends on our diet. Everything is based on the diet, whatever we are consuming daily. In fact, on the earth, there are so many organisms, there are so many microorganisms around us which affect our day-to-day life. Friends, COVID-19 is one of the virus. Like this, there are so many viruses which intermingle our life like COVID-19. But how we are facing these microorganisms, that is totally depends on our immunity. And that is why immunity concern is a very important aspect in everybody's life. Not only diet, but day-to-day exercise is also very important to boost our immunity. But I think the type of diet, particularly the balanced diet that we are consuming, that is very important aspect in our day-to-day life. And that is why I asked my colleague who is working as a head of the department, Mrs. Dipali Dhawane, to arrange such type of lecture, how we can boost our immunity in this pandemic situation that we are facing since last 3-4 months. And she immediately told me that one of the very important person who is working in this area, Dr. Asha Patil Madam, who is working as a professor and head Department of Food Science and Nutrition, College of Community Science, Vasantrao Naik Agriculture University. And I'm very happy that Dr. Asha Patil ma'am, she immediately give her positive consent to deliver a lecture on this aspect. I think her lecture and her thoughts on this aspect will definitely help us in everybody's life, those who have been participated in this seminar. And definitely not only in this pandemic situation, but it will remain helpful in everybody's life hereafter. And that's why, being a principal of Rajaram College, I would like to thank Dr. Asha Patil ma'am for giving her positive consent to deliver a lecture on immunity boosting through diet during pandemic COVID-19. So thank you very much, ma'am. I would like to make a mention of all my colleagues, those who have taken efforts in arranging this important lecture and arranging this national seminar on this very important aspect, which will definitely helpful everybody in their day-to-day life. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Now, before we start with the session, few routine instructions. All the attendees are muted to minimize the background noise. So if there are any questions, please type them in the chat box on the Zoom or YouTube live respectively. We are going to direct these questions to our resource person at the end of the talk. I would also like to point out that there will be a brief feedback survey at the end of the session. Links for the same would be provided in the chat section and on Telegram group. Participants are requested to fill up the feedback form. The participation certificate would be issued to only those participants who have attended entire session and have filled up the feedback form. Now, I request respected Dr. Asha Patil Madam to address the participants. Madam, please.
Good afternoon, everybody. Now I am going to, before I discuss regarding the topic, let me first thank the Rajaram College for inviting me for this lecture, and I want to thank Mrs. Dipali Dhavne for speaking good words about me. Now I am going to explain about the immunity boosting through diet during pandemic COVID-19. I mean, what to eat to stop this virus from not infecting us, so that we can prevent ourselves from suffering this COVID-19, or you can say coronavirus infection. So we are experiencing now, not only we Indians, but the total population from the globe, that, as Sir said just now, we are going through some unprecedented challenging time. Such experience we have never experienced before during our generations. Maybe the previous generations, maybe our grandparents, they might have experienced some situations like plague and all, but we were not well aware about such situation, and that's why it is really scary. So, and even in recent history, the world has not seen a global pandemic like this, that is in the tune of the scale of COVID-19. It had really grabbed many lives, and still it is harming a huge number of population around the world. And that's why we all are under tremendous pressure, and we all want to get rid of this problem as early as possible. And that's why everybody is saying that, go Corona, go. But still, all the hope is not lost. We are optimistic, and we have to be, because our brilliant scientists and doctors, they are working hard to find the medicine and vaccine for this communal disease. But there may be still time to come the vaccine and medicines to be developed. And it is not only the development of the vaccine or medicine, it must become widely available to the common public. And there may be some time for that. Maybe hope that not more than few months. Pray for that. And until then, I would like to share few things that we all can do to reduce the spread at least and to break the chain of this COVID-19. So government has already issued many guidelines to stop the spread. So that is, we have to follow the personal hygiene, maintain personal hygiene, wash our hands frequently, use sanitizer, maintain social distancing, and use of mask. This is very important. But it is everybody's responsibility. We have to do our own part. It is not like that we expect others to do everything and we are quite, what I mean to say, bindas, that others they have to do and it's okay for me. It should not be like that. So everyone must follow these guidelines, and the most important thing is we must keep ourselves healthy. So if we are healthy, then and we have to maintain our immunity. So I will just brief you how to do that, how we can maintain good immunity. Let us just see first what is immunity, because many times we are now, these few words, they became so popular now, immunity, WHO, ICMR. Before, no one was knowing about these words. I won't say no one, but most of the people. And now everybody is asking for that. What is immunity boosting diet and all that. So just I will brief regarding this concept, what is immunity. It is the power of being able to resist infection or a disease or any medical condition, that which protects against a specified disease. We all have three types of immunity, like human beings: innate immunity, adaptive, and passive immunity. The meaning of innate word itself is inborn, means this type of immunity we inherit from the parents, and it protects us from right from the birth to throughout life. It includes external barriers of the body, that is our skin. This skin protects us from invasion of the microorganisms. There are plenty of microorganisms suspended in the air in which we are moving all the time. And not only that, we inhale the air, it enters through mouth, nose, and all that. Not only that, we drink water and other beverages, we eat food, and these are the mediums by which they enter our body. But fortunately, there is a mucous membrane present, you can say, throughout these openings, that is the complete digestive system, linings of the nose, throat, gastrointestinal tract, as I said, and this serves as a first line of this protection to us, defense mechanism, and it you can say prevents the invasion of microorganisms inside the body, and there itself it takes their care, and you can say stops them to have any pathogenic effect or deleterious effect on our body. So another type of immunity is adaptive immunity. This is the second type of kind of protection which is available. This immunity, as the name itself, it is said adaptive. It is very active and which develops throughout our lives. Like how we get it from the vaccination. This immunity is developed into the people where we are exposed to diseases or may be immunized against some diseases through the vaccinations. And these our cells, memory cells in the body, they will remember these pathogens and they will activate this system immediately as soon as such pathogens they enter our body, and they kill them themselves or destroy them, and we don't suffer from those infections or maybe diseases. And now we are also waiting for this vaccine to be developed against this coronavirus. Now the third type of immunity is passive immunity. It is also called as borrowed immunity. It is a temporary type of immunity which remains there for a short time. For like a newborn baby or child gets some antibodies from mother's breast milk, and this you can say these antibodies, they will protect the baby suffering from different infections, and those antibodies will be specially for which the mother is exposed maybe during her pregnancy or even before that, where she already has the memory cells developed in her body for those infections. But this is not long lasting, but definitely during the early years of the life of the baby, that is very helpful for child to protect from infections. So the soldiers of immune system are white blood cells. They are armed forces of our body which keep away these infections and prevents us making, we can say, from sicknesses or diseases. Like how do we have the armed forces or different defense mechanisms present in the country to prevent this entry of invaders or enemies, and they protect the country itself or the population of that people of the country. Like that, these WBCs, they protect us from different pathogens or microorganisms and even other substances which may produce some undesirable effect in the body, or undesirable changes in the body. These white blood cells, they are produced in the hematopoietic cells which are present in bone marrow, and once they are developed or produced there, they are synthesized there in the bone marrow, and after that they are circulated in the system through both the circulatory system, that is the lymphatic system, as well as the circulatory system of the blood, and they will be moving throughout the body and they protect all the organs or all the cells in the body. Just let us see in the pictorial form how they are. They are also called as leukocytes. That is another name for WBCs. They are granular, and there are different types: monocytes, lymphocytes, erythrocytes, basophils, eosinophils, neutrophils, and all that. So when sometimes you might have analyzed your blood for checking up some like your hemoglobin or something like that, and you might have seen all these names like in the report, that and count, you might have seen what is the basophil count, what is the eosinophil count. So that is nothing but the count of different fighting cells in the body. So we have to remember everybody's immune system is different. Some people, they never seem to get infections. They may be, you can say these, and where some people, they fall very oftenly sick. Maybe they are from the siblings, they are from the same family, or they are staying in the same environmental conditions. Irrespective of that, some people, they may be suffering from the infections and some may not. So that is because of the individual's immune system. The people who have strong immune system will not suffer from the infections, and they never get the infections. A child gets, okay, as the age increases, the immune system will be developed and it will be matured well, and then the child or this person becomes more immune to different kind of microorganisms or infections. And that's why adults and grown-up children, they get fewer, you can say, attacks of the infections as compared to adults, the children, sorry, as compared to small or young baby children. This reason is because already these cells, or you can say these memory cells, they are developed in the body, which can identify or recognize these viruses or pathogens or the microorganisms which are not, because which are harmful to the body, and they will attack immediately, and you can say they will prevent the person suffering from infections. So there are different types of WBCs. As I said, the killer T cells are there. They can terminate, or they can kill virus infected cells, bacteria infected cells, or maybe these cancer cells also. So these there are cells which are called phagocytes. They are literally the eater cells. They eat bacteria. Once that is dendritic cells, they eat a bacteria, and after that, some part of the bacteria, which is called as antigen, will come to the surface of the cell, and that is sensed by this antigen will be sensed by the helper T cell. Once it senses that antigen, this helper T cell will be activated. Once it gets activated by itself, then it activates the B cells, and these B cells, they just want to capture these, you can say, antigens, bacteria, and they want to kill them. So it waits to be activated by the helper T cell. So helper T cell will activate B cell, and during this activation, the beta cell will divide into two types of cells, plasma cell and memory cell. These plasma cell, it produces antibodies. These antibodies, you might have heard this term many times. So these antibodies, they are produced by these plasma cells, and these such type of antibodies, they are produced which will match the antigen which is produced by the phagocytes there, and they will, we can say, these literally these eater cells, they will be there. It will, these antibodies, they will get attached to the bacteria or virus, whatever is the invading pathogen is there to it, and it will present it to the eater cells. So these eater cells, literally they eat it up, and some cells, which another, there is a type of cells which are produced during the, you can say, this activation of beta cells, they are the memory cells, and these memory cells, they are very important cells which will remember these type of pathogens or bacteria or viruses, and that's how the vaccine also works like that. When we do get these antigen, there's some weaker cells, or you can say pathogens in our body, and these memory cells are produced for them. And once, even after few years or many years also, when these pathogens, they invade the body, they enter our body, then such times these memory cells, they activate the immune system very immediately, and thereby these cells, the you can say immune cells will destroy these pathogens, and we remain healthy. Okay, so like this, our immune system works in the body, but always this immune system will not be very healthy or good, because there are some reasons which makes them weak or suppresses it. So which are these? There are certain medicines which suppress immune system. They are oral steroids or maybe antibiotics, that we call always, isn't it, like we have side effects of the steroids, side effects of antibiotics. So these are the, this is one of the major side effects, that it suppresses our immune system. Then the infection itself, maybe it is just a simple flu virus also, or maybe measles in children. So such infections also, these pathogens, they will destroy our cells. It's not like that our body cells destroy the pathogens and all that. Even the pathogens, they destroy many body cells. And again, it depends. It's like a fight between soldiers, and where the number of soldiers and the strength of soldiers is more, they will win. It's like that. Even the pathogens, if they destroy our immune cells, and maybe if the immunity is weak, or you can say they may suppress our immune system. Then another very important reason is stress. It suppresses immune system. You can say it makes it weak. Then another is these bad habits, or addictions, what we call smoking, alcohol, narcotic drugs, and all that, that also weakens our immune system. And the most important is poor nutrition. Poor nutrition can severely weaken our immune system. How it weakens and why I'm going to discuss in further slides. So what happens if it is suppressed? What are the complications if the immune system is weak? Infections can be developed and spread particularly quickly in people when the immune system is weak, and even that will be the person is prone to get infections frequently. We say that some person gets infected, gets cured, and again after some days or maybe some months, again the person will fall sick. So that frequency of the infections will be there in such people whose immune system is weak. Then infections may be more severe, and they are more, okay, infection becomes more severe, and whatever the complications they are developed in the body as a result of that infection. Maybe what effect is there on the, suppose for example, we are saying that this COVID, so it is affecting the respiratory system. So once the respiratory system is hampered or its functioning is hampered, then there are many systems which are dependent on the respiratory system. The basic itself is the cell survival itself is there on the respiratory system, because it supplies oxygen, it supplies, and they can say, life to the cells. And it may, because the lungs, they are not working properly, and hypoxia will be developed in the body. That is the we can say thirst for oxygen by the cells. And if for some time, like how if we don't get oxygen for a few minutes, maybe the death of the individual will be there. Like that, the death of the cell also will be there, where the insufficient supply of oxygen is there for a particular time of period, maybe even for 3 to 5 minutes. That cell can fight and survive without oxygen, but may not be beyond that period. And like that, if the cell death is more, then automatically the organ functioning will be reduced, and it may lead to different complications. So it is very essential to boost our immune system. So we must have a very good fighting strength, and for this, the preventing us suffering from infections. And to maintain healthy immune system, healthy lifestyle is a key factor. So this healthy lifestyle, what is healthy lifestyle? The major components of healthy lifestyle are nutritional status or diet, then activity pattern or exercise, rest, stress management, and hygiene. So let us discuss these factors one by one. Nutritional status. This is the condition of our health as affected by nutrients. If the nutrient deficiency is there, the nutritional status will be poor. If we have a good nutrient supply, which really takes care of each cell in the body, then we may have the proper or normal nutritional status. So what does mean by having normal nutritional status? We many times say that, yes, I'm healthy. What does mean by health? You see, as explained by WHO, the health is not merely absence from disease or infirmity, but we should be socially, physically and mentally healthy. We should not be suffering from any infection. We should not be suffering from any disease. Yes, definitely that is there, but it is not there. It is physical, mental, and social health. That is very important. And like that, we should have. So physical health means it is not we are active many times. We don't suffer from. Still, we may have poor nutritional status. And for that, how to judge it, how to assess it, the normal cell count of all types of cell and normal body fluid composition should be maintained in the body. The person who is having normal cell count, and that too of all the organs and different types of cells, and that person can be called as normal person, then or healthy. You see, body fluids are there. Take for example, our blood is there. We know about anemia. Everybody knows about anemia. Yes, we should not be anemic. And if the hemoglobin level is less, or maybe the cell count, RBC count is less, then we become anemic, and we know about it. But it is not only the hemoglobin content in the blood, but each, you can say, if we see the composition of the blood, each component in the blood, whatever it is, it has to be there up to that level. Maybe the levels of nutrients, levels of different cells, these WBCs and all, they should be within the normal ranges, and then we can call it as a person is having normal nutritional status. So each cell in the body has a very limited lifespan. So these organs, they are made up of cells, but each cell survives for a longer time, and continuous destruction of the cells will be there. But still the organ is functioning because continuously they are newly formed. Regeneration of the organ will be there, and it's like a game Kho. In Kho, we just give Kho to one player and another will take the place of that player. It's like that. So the new synthesized cell should be of the same strength of the previous cell which is distracted from that organ, and the rate of cell synthesis should match the destruction. So this is very important to maintain the cell count in the organ. If each organ has a specific cell count, and that count should be maintained for working, that proper working. It's like in office. Suppose if you have an office with 10 people, and if all 10 of them are there, the office will function smoothly and output will be good. If one person goes on leave, you can say another person will be overburdened. And if the cell count, you can say if each person, you can say, is going out and the number of people, they are less, and then it is very difficult to manage the office with reduced, or you can say, manpower. It's like that even in the body also. So the cell count should be maintained for smooth and proper functioning of each organ. If it doesn't, then functioning of the organs will be affected adversely. That is the lower cell count. I'm giving just example. Lower cell count will RBC will result into anemia. Lower WBC will definitely result into lowering the immunity or immune power of the body. And nutrients, these are the basic material, raw material for the formation of cell. Without nutrients, cell cannot be formed, and that's why sufficient supply of all these nutrients to the body is very, very essential. So let us discuss about, there are many, you can say 6 nutrients like carbohydrates, proteins, lipids, minerals, vitamins, and water. But they become the part of a balanced diet, and we must take as per the recommended dietary allowances. And as it is a very vast topic, I'm just restricting myself here to the nutrients which are important in maintaining the role of maintaining the immune function of the body, or which play important role in maintaining the immune system. So the first is protein. It is very important function for maintenance of immunity, because this is a building block of the body. If we want to build any material, we can say building, some block has to be there, like bricks are there, maybe cement blocks, wooden planks, whatever it is, they are there. But because of that only we can form some structure. And like that, proteins are necessary for formation of different structures of these organs, or for synthesis of each cell. You can say these protein is necessary. Protein will lay down the basic assembly for the synthesis of a new cells, and even other, it's not like that only protein is necessary for the synthesis of cell. Even all the nutrients, they are necessary, but the basic assembly will be laid down by the protein for this synthesis, and then the cell will be formed, irrespective of any type of cell. Maybe it is a epithelial cell, bone cell, brain cell, whatever it is, irrespective of the organs, all cells in the body, they need protein. Then that's why protein sufficiency is important to maintain the cell count. Then again, antibodies, they are protein in nature. These what are these? We saw the WBCs and these cells, immune cells and all, even they need protein for their synthesis, and they are the part of defense systems. Just now we have discussed about it. A major component of the this protein is a major component of the blood, bone, skin, muscle, organs, hair, nail, as well as the brain cells. It is very okay. These are the, in brief, very important functions of the protein in view of the immunity. But it is very disappointing note what is the intake of protein in the diets of Indian population, and unfortunately you can say the results are not good. And you see, diets of Indian population, they are deficient in protein. See, many surveys are available, even N9 reports. You may see a report, authentic reports of the, you can say, published by different organizations in the country, and see that diets are deficient in protein across the country for all the types of diets in the different states. A survey, I have just mentioned few findings of the report which is produced by a general consumer survey, where 9 out of 10 people, it is mentioned that 9 out of 10 people consume inadequate amount of protein in India. And this is really, it means, see, this is 90% population takes the protein deficient diet. It's not like that only the poor person's diet is deficient in the protein, but now irrespective of all other factors, the protein deficiency exists in the diets of the population, and it results in low immunity. Okay, so 93, what is the statistic? General tells that 93% of the Indian population is unaware regarding the protein requirement per day. How much protein do I need or you need? If we ask the people, 93% people, they don't know. Then pregnant ladies, they top in that is 97% of them, they don't know what is the protein requirement. Followed by lactating mothers, they're 96%, and adolescents 95%. And you know that these three are the vulnerable groups. These three are vulnerable groups, and they themselves, they know that, they don't know that what is their protein requirement. Okay, so how do we get protein then? We get protein from pulses, all these red gram, green gram, black gram, chana dal, all these dals, or these what we call in Marathi kadhanya. We do get protein. Soybean is a very good source of the protein, which has highest amount of protein than any type of grain. Then oil seeds like groundnut, gingerly seeds, niger seeds, flax seeds, they are also very good sources of protein. Animal foods, all animal foods are good sources of protein, like egg, meat, fish, poultry, and meat, milk and milk products like buttermilk, curds, cheese, etc. They are very good sources of complete protein. Then these uncommon rich sources, yes, I want to tell this thing here, and very important thing, that uncommon resources of the protein must be exploited to increase the protein content of the diet. We have just now we have seen that protein deficiency is there in the diet. So how to overcome this deficiency? See, if we include the protein rich sources in the diet, we will get more amount of protein from the same amount of food. And these proteins, unfortunately, they are not included in the diet, though they are very rich sources. That is soybean. We produce lot of soybean. Now it is not only the few states in the country, but whole of the India, you can say majority states, they are taking this crop as a cash crop, and it is not a part of their diet, but it has to be included in the diet, and in the form of dal, in the form of flour and all that. There are multiple forms, we can say, in which it can be included in the diet, which has 43% protein in it. Another is when it's a de-oiled soy. When these oil seeds, they are used for extraction of the oil. Once the oil is expelled from these oil seeds, what meal remains there, it is a very rich source of protein. De-oiled soya meal has around 52 to 54% protein. And again, this depends on what type of extraction process is being used for its extraction. If there are some sophisticated process with advanced technology, where the very smaller amount of fat remains there, maybe 1%, 2%, and lot of the extraction is there. Such meal is a very rich source of protein, even though whatever the method of extraction is applied, still the remaining meal is rich source of protein. The oiled coconut meal has 22 to 23% protein in it. The oiled groundnut meal has 30 to 40% protein, and even fruit seeds. Okay, yeah, this I want to tell again. Fruit seeds are very good sources of protein. These we eat sometimes these melon, we can say seeds, and then some gods, maybe these seeds, they are, you can say, peeled and they are eaten, but not as a regular practice. But these seeds, they are also a good source of protein, and they must be included there in different forms. Then these okay, so I have just shown here in the pictures these sources of the protein, these pulses, animal foods, milk products, and oil seeds. So let us discuss about vitamin C now, another important nutrient from the immunity point of view. This is vitamin C, or ascorbic acid. It acts as a powerful antioxidant. That's why we nutritionists, we call it as a scavenger. So what does it scavenger means? See, it plays a role as a decreasing oxidative stress. When the energy is being synthesized in the body from the energy giving nutrients, that is carbohydrate, fats, and lipids, then during this process of synthesis of energy, some free radicals are formed. That is, these are the reactive oxygen species, and these, they have one, you can say, unsatisfied electron in the last orbit. So what it does, it takes the electron from another cell, and you can say it satisfies its valency. But during this process, what happens? The cell structure will be destroyed, and that cell no more can work as a functioning cell. And that's how these you can say these reactive oxygen species, they reduce the number of, you can say, they keep on destructing the number of reducing these functioning cells. So we have to prevent this process, and these some nutrients, some substances are there which are called as antioxidants. They spare their own electron to these reactive oxygen species, and that its valency will be satisfied, and that becomes stable. That unstable oxygen species, they become stable, and that's how we can prevent the functioning cells from destruction. So this function is done by some nutrients, and vitamin C does it very, you can say, it is a very potential nutrient for this function. And so that's why it is said that that is called oxidative stress, what I explained just now. So it helps to decrease it. Then when another important function is wound healing, which is very important in the infections. This due to inflammation, and maybe as an attack of the microorganisms, wounds or scars or lesions, they are developed, or maybe as a result of some deficiencies, they are developed. So healing up is very, very essential. Otherwise, it becomes the site for the invasion of microorganisms. And that's why the healing of wound is very, very essential. And then oozing of the very important body fluid also will be there from the wounds, and that has to be prevented. Vitamin C definitely does this function in the body. Then it is necessary for cell integration through collagen synthesis. See, when the cells are there, so separate, each cell is there, and for formation of a specific tissue or organ, these cells, they must be, you can say integrated, or you can say in a particular fashion, their placement should be there. And for that placement, like collagen acts as a cementing substance, and these cells, they will be placed in a particular fashion, and the tissue will be synthesized. These tissues again, they form the organ, and the organs, they can work properly. And for this function also, vitamin C is very, very important. Then it helps for the synthesis of WBCs, and that's why it is very important for boosting the immunity. So how do we get these vitamin C? So these are the food sources of vitamin C. See, it is widely distributed. Fortunately, it is widely distributed in plant foods. The richest source of the vitamin C is amla and or gooseberries, and it is very good. Whenever we get a chance, we must eat it. And it is believed that if we eat one fruit daily, so we may be kept away from the infections. These animal foods, they are very poor sources like milk and other animal milk and milk products and other animal foods. They are poor sources, but good sources other than these gooseberries or amla, citrus fruits, that is lemon, orange, mosambi, grapefruit, then rajgira leaves. Most of the green leaves, they are good sources of lipid. There is vitamin C, cabbage, coriander leaves, radish leaves, bitter gourd, green chilies, guava, these many fruits, they are good sources. Guava also has good, papaya, pineapple, tomato, bear, they are rich sources of vitamin C. Okay, but one thing is there with this vitamin, that this is a very delicate vitamin. We call it as a very delicate vitamin, because, or the most susceptible vitamin. So we have to retain it in the food, and because it gets destroyed by oxidation, by heat, by dehydration. If it comes means if it comes in contact with oxygen, the destruction will be there. If it comes in contact with heat, it will be destroyed. If it we dehydrate the food, then we have to apply some heat for this process. Even because of that, destruction of the vitamin will be there. So therefore, we have to include raw fresh fruits and vegetables in the diet. Then for this, we can use stalks, rinds, and peels. They are very good sources of vitamin C. But we peel the fruits, and the rind means the white part which is near the peel of the fruit. That is a rich source of vitamin C, and we should not be throwing these parts, and in some or other way, in raw form, I mean to say, again in raw form, we should consume it, because in the cooked form we consume it in the form of chutney, or maybe we prepare some paratha and all. But in raw form, we can use it rather for salad in grated form and all that. In that form, we can use it. Then we should use fruits and vegetables immediately after cutting, because if it comes in contact with oxygen, the oxidation will be there. So again, we should not be cutting fruits and vegetables in very small pieces, because the surface area which comes in contact with the air will be increased, and that's so more of the vitamin will be oxidized. Then we should not be soaking these fruits and vegetables for longer time in the water before washing, because it is highly soluble into water, and being highly water soluble, it will be leached out from the food material, and less availability will be there to our body. Unnecessarily, the fruits and vegetables should not be peeled. It has become a fashion to peel even we can say simple fruits which can be eaten with peel, and they should not be peeled. Being water soluble, as I say, it is not stored in the body. This is also very important. Suppose I cannot say that today I have a chance, I will take too much, we can say more than my requirement, and that will be sufficient for me for a few days, maybe just for 1 or 2 days, but it is not stored. No, all the water soluble vitamins, they are not stored in the body. If we take extra amounts also, they are eliminated from the body through urine, and that's why the daily supply, everyday supply is essential. So every day we should eat some raw fruits, vegetables, and these whatever I'm showing, these are the good sources of vitamin C. And our requirement, especially adults or even from late childhood itself, is 40 milligrams, and for all the ages, and except for lactation, where it really becomes double, that is 80 milligram during for the lactating mother. Another vitamin which plays very important role in boosting our immunity or maintaining our immunity is vitamin A or beta carotene. Vitamin A as such is not available in we can say any plant food. This is available in active form only in the animal foods, that is milk and milk products, meat, fish, poultry, and all that. But in plant foods, a pigment is there which is called beta carotene. This pigment can be converted, or our body has a capacity to convert this pigment into vitamin A. Maybe for that we have to eat a quite larger amount of beta carotene, and then the conversion will be there to vitamin A. And at least we are fortunate for that, especially for the vegetarian people and all that, they can get it from the beta carotene. And so called even the non-vegetarian people also, the amount of non-vegetarian food consumed is so less, and occasionally they consume it. So we have to depend on the plant foods for the availability of vitamin A. So it is required, let us see for what we need it. It is required for maintaining the integrity of the cells in the body, just this cell integration. Just now I have explained it. Then it is required for healthy skin and mucosa. That is the mucosal lining, gut linings, what the skin inside the body. You can say buccal cavity, digestive system and all that. In addition to that, it acts as an antioxidants like vitamin C or ascorbic acid. This also plays a very important role as antioxidants and reduces the oxidative stress. Then it helps for increasing the WBC count because it plays very important role in the synthesis of white blood cells in the body. So sources from where we do get the foods are milk, khoa, cheese, as I said, all the milk and milk products of milk, then butter, ghee, hydrogenated fat. Hydrogenated fat is fortified, of course, it is not having in itself much of it, but it is fortified with to prevent the rancidity, and there how we get it because of its antioxidant function. It prevents the peroxidation of the lipids and prevents it becoming rancid. For that, they are fortified with fat, and that is advantageous for us also because we do get it through this medium. Then egg also has this vitamin A in it. It is this vitamin A in retinol form, it's active. Then beta carotene is present in papaya. Carrot is a very good source of beta carotene. Then all leafy vegetables, fortunately there are plenty of sources, and we do Indians, we use most of the vegetables and fruits daily in the diet. That is a very good dietary habit and we must preserve it. Many leafy vegetables, they are very good sources of vitamin A, including I have shown you the picture of these betel leaves or pan, what we call, that is also a very good source of beta carotene. Shepu, palak, chuka, coriander, these coriander leaves or spinach, what I mean, drumstick leaves, then these colocasia leaves, curry leaves, these are very good sources of carotene, beta carotene. Mango, of course, now the season is there, so you have a good chance to take a lot of beta carotene. Then orange or these red, see dark colored fruits and vegetables. One thumb rule is there, dark colored fruits and vegetables, they are good sources of beta carotene. So we must eat them plentifully to get this vitamin and boost our immunity. Another vitamin which is very important for maintaining the immunity is vitamin D. It is essential for healthy bones. Then it is needed for regulating the immune system. See, because bones, they are the source for synthesis of WBCs. The WBCs are synthesized in the bone marrow. So if we have healthy bones, then the healthy bone marrow will be there, and the synthesis of these RBCs will be there. So they are okay. Food sources are very scanty, and that's why. But one thing is good, that daily sunlight. When we are exposed to sunlight, then a component in the skin can convert this sunlight can convert it into active D, vitamin D3. So for that, we have to get exposed to the sunshine at least for 20 to 30 minutes daily. Daily, I'm saying. The daily exposure is essential. And the food sources are very scanty. Egg is okay, just deep sea cold water fish like cod liver and cod liver oil or some fish, they are good sources, and mushroom also. Some sources are shown here. Another vitamin, antioxidant vitamin, which is essential for immunity is tocopherol or vitamin E. It also acts as an antioxidant. It has anti-inflammatory properties. So when the infections produce inflammations in the body, so it helps to cure those inflammations in the body. Again, this also is necessary for the cell integration. Vitamin E is also necessary for cell integration. It prevents the oxidation of polyunsaturated fatty acids and vitamin A. So vitamin A will also be oxidized once it comes in contact with A. This vitamin E acts as an antioxidant for vitamin A. So it helps, you can say, the availability, increasing the availability of vitamin A to the body. Then it is required for synthesis of energy. That is also very, very important. So the good sources of whole grain, cereal grains, they are good sources of vitamin E. Soybean is a good source. Groundnuts, walnuts, spinach, sunflower seeds, they are good sources. And of course, all the these being this vitamin A and E, both these are fat soluble vitamins. That's why these vegetable fats or liver animal fats, they will have these vitamins in them. Vitamin K, this also plays very important role in the maintaining immunity because it is required for healthy bone and healthy heart. So if the health of the heart and bones is maintained, then the health itself is maintained. So health is maintained well, we will have good immunity. And by acting as a cofactor for many plasma proteins, it will help to maintain or strengthen the immunity. It is widely distributed in plant and animal foods. Rarely we may see the vitamin K deficiency. This is also a fat-soluble vitamin, and it may be available commercial also in the form of capsules. Then these mustard seeds, they are very good sources, very good source of vitamin K. Cabbage, lettuce, and these broccoli, eggs, they are the good sources of these vitamin K. Then another is vitamin B complex. Folic acid, there are many members in this family B complex group. Folic acid, vitamin B12, pyridoxine, they play these, out of these many, you can say these the vitamins, B complex vitamins which play important role in maintaining the good immunity are folic acid, vitamin B12 and pyridoxine, because they play important role in synthesis of antibodies and red blood cells. And of course, we know that both these, they are required for fighting with the infections and for maintenance of the good health. Then thiamine, riboflavin and niacin, they are also necessary for synthesis of cells, the basic cell itself. Niacin, these riboflavin, they are these B complex vitamins, they are necessary for synthesis of the DNA, RNA. They are necessary for energy, completion of energy synthesis or energy cycle in this Krebs cycle in the body. They take part as cofactor, and that's how they help us to maintain the normal levels of the energy and normal, we can say, functions of our different systems and circulatory system, and that's how they help us for fighting with the infections. Whole grains, oil seeds, then green leafy vegetables, milk and milk products, they are good sources of in general. In fact, there are different foods which are sources of individual each vitamin, but because of the scarcity of time, I cannot go in detail for each vitamin. But in general, if we consume all these foods or include these foods in our diet daily, milk and milk products, oil seeds, the leafy vegetables, or we can say these and whole grain cereals, the requirement of the B complex vitamins will be we can say sufficient. We will get it. Another one more important thing, what I want to tell is, when we are eating whole grains, then the upper layers will have the more concentration of these vitamins, and that's why that layer should not be discarded, and that has to be included in the diet. So this I was discussing about the nutrients till now, which do help directly in increasing the immune power of the body, let us discuss about some other components which are also very much important to be included in the diet, and most focused nowadays is dietary fiber. You might have heard in many discussions is dietary fiber is very important. Fiber is from these foods has to be taken and all that. So why we have to include it intentionally in our diet? Because it has many health benefits. It is necessary for the normal relaxation, so that person will not suffer from constipation. Not only that, so daily cleaning of the digestive system, what we say that पेट साफ होना, पोट साफ झालं पाहिजे. Okay, for that it is very very essential. Then say what we feel hungry and we eat food. Sometimes what happens, some foods we eat which are refined, which do not have fiber much in them, and especially if we see the milled rice is there, when we eat rice and after maybe 2-3 hours we may feel hungry, but if we eat some whole grains and we don't feel hungry. The reason for that is this delays the feeling of hunger because it stays longer time in the stomach, holds water, and the fullness feeling will be there, and person will not feel hungry frequently, and that's why it is called as it's you can say gives the satiety feeling. It is hypoglycemic in nature. This is very important for the diabetics, where it helps to reduce the increased blood sugar and keep, or you can say control the blood sugar and keep it into the normal range. Then it increases the glucose tolerance also of the individual. These functions, they are not important only for the diabetics or CVD people, but they are even good, or you can say essential for normal individuals also. So it is hypocholesterolemic in nature. That is also very important, because cholesterol should not be increased, because cholesterol, if it is increased, person suffers from these cardiovascular diseases, and we can say which may lead to many complications related to heart functioning, and even sometimes to the death also due to atherosclerosis or heart attacks and all that. Then it protects us from GIT cancer. This is also very important function, and many studies around the world, they have proved that people who have can say plant-based diet, where the dietary fiber consumption is within the normal ranges, there the you can say incidences of different cancers, that is of the stomach cancer, duodenal cancer, maybe of the intestinal cancer or colon cancer, these incidences are less. And this dietary fiber, this very important component, we can say saves us from suffering from such type of cancers. Then it prevents us suffering from the cardiovascular diseases, because it helps to maintain the normal cholesterol level, and once its density in the diet is more, then the other components maybe they are less in the diet such times. It definitely, this is a very important function. Again, it serves, it helps for the weight reduction. Maybe what we are purchasing now many supplements for the weight reduction, and these supplements predominantly, the basic raw material we used for formulation or designing of these supplements is dietary fiber, and that's why we pay quite a lot of money for buying these supplements for weight loss, and we don't care to you can say don't bother to include these foods which are around us. If we really take care and intentionally include the dietary fiber in our diet, we don't have to pay a very heavy price for purchasing these supplements to lose the weight or to have the inch loss, what we call it. And many studies, this what I'm discussing now are explained these you can say functions. They are not just, but they are based on the studies conducted in many you can say renowned institutes, and they are the authentic results. These sources are bran, what I said, these uppermost layer of the what we sieve the flour and throw it away, which is a very very bad practice that has to be stopped. If it is there, then that should not be practiced. Then vegetables, all type of vegetables, they are good sources, but we must be using peels, tender seeds, stalks of the vegetables, and these tender seeds of the fruits also, whole grain cereals, that is pulses, and cereals. We should be using lot of fruits in the diet. Then these two important sources, that is of the soluble fiber. This dietary fiber is soluble and insoluble. We will not go discuss into depth this, but I want to say that this soluble fiber is very, very helpful to the people who are suffering with diabetes or CVDs, or who have increased the levels of blood sugar or cholesterol, and this gum acacia, what we call gond, okay, this dink. This is very helpful for performing this function. And another is methi seeds or fenugreek seeds. And wherever the slimy, we can say, once they come in contact with the water and the slimy, we can say, solutions are formed, such solutions are very much helpful for, you can say, exerting the benefits of the dietary fiber, and they should be included in the diet. And they are very important for even normal individuals as well as for the obese individuals and diabetics and CVD people suffering with cardiovascular diseases. Okay, another concept I want to just put forth here, that is a low glycemic index foods, because many now people are well aware what is low GI food, low GI food. It is glycemic index is you can say capacity of a food to increase the blood sugar level after its consumption, that how much increase will be there in the blood sugar curve. So this the food which is capable of releasing the glucose slowly is said to have a low glycemic index, and the food which you can say releases blood glucose immediately, you can say, as by what, when we consume food, simultaneously the digestion will be started, and once the food is being digested, the absorption also will be started simultaneously. So these foods, when they do have the refined carbohydrates in it, and they will be digested easily and absorbed easily, so the release in the glucose will be there, and this, it will take the steep curve. If it is not desired, this is sometimes it is desired when we are hungry and the blood glucose levels are low, and when we are entering really literally into hypoglycemic conditions, this is desirable. But otherwise, it is good to have low glycemic index foods in the diet, because they release the glucose slowly and they prevent the steep rise in the blood glucose. To which foods we can call it as low glycemic, high and medium, I am showing it here. Foods which do have less than 55 index, they are low glycemic index foods. The value of 56 to 69 indicates medium glycemic index food, and value of more than 70 or greater or more than 70 indicates that they are the high glycemic index foods. So in these foods, they must be, you can say, prevented in the diets of the both these, you can say, mostly in the diets of these diabetic people. The good sources are all pulses. They are good sources of the they have low glycemic index. Then millets, they have low glycemic index. But out of these also, rajma is good, cowpeas and even the sprouts are very good. They have low glycemic index. Then Rajgira, I have seen some millets only out of these. Leafy vegetables, they have very low glycemic index. That's why they can be included in more amounts, even in the diets of diabetic people. And they will not help to increase the glucose. Buttermilk also is a low glycemic index food. Then another, you can say, substance which is in limelight is omega-3 fatty acid. So these alpha-linoleic acid, eicosapentaoic acid, and hexonic acids, these are omega-3 fatty acids. What do they do? Why they are so much in discussion nowadays? So because they keep our heart healthy. They reduce the oxidative stress. They help to reduce the LDL cholesterol, which is supposed to be the bad cholesterol, which leads to the development of atherosclerosis. And then triglyceride, they help to reduce the triglycerides. And the most important is they help to reduce the fibrin formation or clot formation in the blood. So because with age also and due to the atherosclerosis also, the lumen of the blood vessels will be narrowed. And so blood has to, you can say, travel through even through these sections of the blood vessels also, where this thrombin formation is there or plaque is formed there and the lumen is narrowed, and through this blood has to follow and supply nutrients and oxygens to the cells and bring back the waste and carbon dioxide from the cells. So while doing this function, you can say even components like they get aggregated there and the clots are formed. This is a natural function in the body. These clots are formed, and this clot unfortunately chokes the narrowed passage in the artery. Then such times it leads to the, you can say, choking of that artery and supply to the further part of the organ where that artery is supplying the blood will be there. And definitely you can say if the blood supply is not there, then death of that organ or those cells or tissues will be there. So these omega-3 fatty acids, they help to dissolve these fibrins or clots, whatever they are traveling in the blood. And this is a very important function that is performed by these omega-3 fatty acids. And that's how it is said that the heart-friendly component, or they are said as heart-friendly fatty acids. Of course, they even help to maintain the normal blood pressure also, and this also is related with the health of the heart and blood vessels. So the very good sources of this is flaxseed, that is linseed, or it is in Marathi it is called as jawas. In Hindi it is called as alsi, which is very good source and must be included in the diet. Oil of the flax also is a rich source of omega-3 fatty acids. Apart from that, this even soybean oil, sunflower oil, safflower oil, sesame oil, and these corn oil, they are good sources of the omega-3 fatty acids. And even walnut is a good source, akhroot. Another important nutrient which plays important role in the maintenance of immunity is zinc. It increases the production, it helps for the synthesis of WBCs and the T cells. What are the type of, you can say these WBC, which helps for the, you can say, maintenance of immunity or killing the microorganisms which produce infections in the body. These cells, and for synthesis of these cells, the zinc is helpful in the body, or it can performs this function. And cereals, nuts and oil seeds, pulses, they are good sources of zinc. Very rarely we may suffer from zinc deficiency because our diets are basically based on the cereals, pulses, and even the oil seeds are included in the diet of the Indian these people. That's why we may get sufficient zinc from the diet. So another very important nutrient which is immune booster, let us say, is water. Because it is a medium of all body fluids, whatever the body fluids we have in the body, say including saliva, tears, blood, sweat, urine, then cellular fluids, whether it's cytoplasm and the interstitial fluids, all these body fluids, for them water is a basic medium. So that's why it is treated as a nutrient. Not just water, we use for multiple purposes like a cleaning agent also, but for the body it is a nutrient. It is very important constituent of each cell. Without water, cell cannot be survived. That's why even the 20% loss from the body, which is brought about due to diarrhea or maybe vomiting, which we call dehydration, especially in children or any individual, then dehydration is lethal or leads to 20% water loss from the body is lethal or may result into the death of the individual. That's how it is important is in the body. And that's why sufficient water intake is essential. Daily intake is essential. Then it is necessary even to remove the body waste also. Whatever the body waste, they are there, they are dissolved into the water and in different forms, like in the form of urine, sweat, they are removed, and fecal matter, they are removed from the body. It is necessary even to give the, we can say, softness to the stool also, so person doesn't suffer from the constipation, and cleaning of the removal of the waste material from the digestive system will be possible. Then it is required for normal secretions of the organs like these tear glands, sweat glands, then all these different organs, whatever the different hormones they secrete, these endocrine glands. So for secretion of all these organs, water is required. Then to maintain the body pH, it is required different, you can say, these juices in the body, they have different pH. Like saliva almost has a normal, or you can say neutral pH. Then gastric juice has acidic pH. Blood is slightly alkaline. Sweat is also slightly alkaline. So this pH has to be maintained. They are there. When this pH is maintained, they are working properly, or they are normal. And for that, it has to be there. And so water helps to maintain this pH. Then the temperature. For maintenance of temperature also, it is required. A normal temperature has to be maintained, that is around 37 degrees Celsius, or maybe 98 to 99 degree Fahrenheit temperature has to be maintained wherever you are, irrespective of the atmospheric temperature. Whether it is too cold, maybe like Antarctica, or you can say these cold places where most of the time it is covered with snow, or maybe at equator where it is very hot. Irrespective of that temperature, our body temperature has to be maintained normal, because at this normal temperature, the body reactions are taken place normally. And for that, it is necessary to maintain the normal temperature. And for that, water is a very important component which helps us to maintain it. Then it is okay. So we can include more amount of liquids in the daily diet, and it is not necessary that we have to take only water, but it can be taken in the form of soups, it can be taken in the form of juices, sharbat, buttermilk. In any of these forms, you include it in the daily diet. And how much I am going to tell you just in the tips afterwards, how much we have to take it. Then another important is prebiotic or probiotics. They are also important because they help to enhance the immune function of the body. These probiotics are the microorganisms that provide health benefits when they are consumed. They are human-friendly microflora. See, all microorganisms, they are not harmful to the body. There are many microorganisms which are helpful to our body, which do help us to maintain good health, and which do help us to maintain the good immunity. And that one of them is lactobacillus. So there are many bipidophilus bacteria also there, and the sources for this is curd is the best source, or maybe the buttermilk, because of course it is made from the curds. That's why it is also a good source of these probiotic. Then the fermented foods. Okay, the fermented foods also do have these bacterium, these fermenting microorganisms in them. These microorganisms also help us to maintain the gut microflora. That means our digestive system, especially our large intestine, colon. It has many type of microorganisms, and balance types also is there, and count of these microorganisms. Both these things, they are very important, and these probiotics, they help us to maintain the count and you can say type of the microflora which is present in the gut. Another is prebiotics. These compounds, they are, we can say, they they help the growth of the microorganisms which are good for our health. That's why they are called as prebiotics. And the dietary fiber is very good to say these microorganisms, they must get some food to survive on, and then only they can be multiplied there. And these dietary fiber serves as a food for these microorganisms. It helps for the, rather than again it helps for the fermentation, and at that pH the growth of these microorganisms will be good. And these microorganisms, that is these substances, they serve as a source for the growth of the prebiotics. And these prebiotics, they are the probiotics. Help the probiotics, what I mean to say. Okay, another is nutraceuticals or functional foods. People are paying quite huge amount of money for buying these supplements which are called as nutraceuticals. These two terms, they are used sometimes interchangeably. That is, they are the nutraceutical components. These are the functional foods. Many times we will be confused exactly what is a nutraceutical, what is a nutrient. Because many nutrients, they serve as nutraceuticals in the body. They are derived from the foods, and many times they are used in the medicinal forms like pills, capsules, and liquids also. Then these herbal products are there, which are also referred as nutraceuticals like garlic, ginger, amla, fenugreek seeds, gums, fruits, fruit powders, etc. They are also referred. See, our many Ayurvedic products, herbal products, now they are coming with the names of nutraceuticals, because these business people, manufacturers, they know that what people are behind. We are behind the nutraceuticals. So let them sell it as a nutraceutical, because that is not wrong. These are the products which serve as a function of nutraceutical. What it does in the body, it renders the physiological benefit, it promotes our health, and these products also, they help for that, and that's why they are also called as nutraceuticals. They are hypocholesterolemic in nature, they are hypoglycemic and anti-atherogenic, as I discussed just before in the previous slide, that how the plaque is formed in the, you can say, these arteries due to the cholesterol, and even with aging, that is formed in the interior walls of the arteries. This plaque is formed, and that process is called atherosclerosis. So these nutraceuticals, they are anti-atherogenic. So they help to dissolve that plaque if it is formed, or maybe they prevent the formation of the plaque itself. So they are antioxidants, omega-3 fatty acids, these different oils with omega-3 fatty acids, probiotics, I just now I said curds, phenolic compounds, polyphenolic compounds, carotenoid pigments, phytates, certain vitamins, then that is a catechin in green tea. That's why the green tea, we people say, many people they say that no, I don't drink the usual tea with milk and all that, but they will prefer green tea or black tea, and that is because of these nutraceutical or some functional component which is you can say bioactive component present in them. Catechin is present in the green tea, like this allicin is present in garlic, gingerol is present in ginger, and these all components to be called as nutraceuticals or functional foods, or these bioactive principles, they are helpful for maintaining our health, and they are definitely the immune boosters. Once the health is maintained well, the immunity will be good. You see, bad health and good immunity may not be there. Good health, good immunity. So we have to maintain the good health, and that's how we will have the good immunity. And here just I'm showing some pictures of the immune booster foods which are in limelight nowadays. Curds as a biotic, these probiotic, garlic because of the allicin in it, ginger because of gingerol, turmeric because of the curcumin in it, and these are the fruits. This tomato is because of lycopene. Then these vitamin carotenoid pigments, different pigments are there in these small fruits, all berries and cherries. What we call, they are very good, and they are to be termed as immunity booster foods. Then papaya is there because of the carotenoid pigments present in it, as because it is antioxidant. Spinach is termed as immunity booster food because of the chlorophyll, has a very good antioxidant property. Then different melons because of different pigments, and broccoli also. And this green tea and black tea also because of the these immune booster components present in it, and nutraceutical bioactive components which are present in them, and they give the help the maintain immune power of the body. So I'm giving you in further slides little some tips for maintenance of the good health, which is essential for maintenance of immunity. So these tips are just in a nutshell, whatever the presentation is there. So these pulses, they are termed as superfoods, and that's why at least 60 to 80 gram of, I'm telling about the raw weight, not the cooked weight, raw weight of the these 60 to 80 gram of the pulses, they must be consumed daily. At least include in that 1 katori sprouts. They should be there, any type of pulse, maybe from the list. It is not many people, they say that I don't want tur dal, and because it gives acidity and all that. Individual experiences may be different, but it should not be there that because it you don't like, or maybe it produces some effect, undesirable effect, you are leaving the pulse itself. It should not be there. We have many alternatives, many pulses are there. That's why in the beginning also I told you, we are fortunate enough to have multiple varieties of cereals, pulses, vegetables, fruits, many foods. And so we have the sources. It is not the type of pulse important. Of course, the combination is always good. But if one is not, you can say, liked, then the complete group should not be left out. So these, choose anything of your choice and availability. As per the availability, and include these pulses in the diet. That can be included in the breakfast or in any meal. Of course, each meal should have to be to make it as a balanced meal. Then roasted pulses can be eaten. They are very tasty, like these futane, soyane. Soyane is like chana, what we roast soybean. When it is roasted, we have given name as soyane to them. That can be included in the diet. It's very rich source of many nutrients. We call soybean as golden bean, and that's how it should be included in the diet. Then split roasted chana dal is there, we call dal or dalwa in it. Then peas are also there, they can be included. Salted roasted peas are there. Then these except for hypertensive people, then even the salty, we can say these roasted parched pulses are available, they can be used. Then 1 katori curds, it should be taken at least 100 gram, or 1 glass buttermilk daily. I'm saying daily it should be consumed. Milk is not only the food of children, and we do have many concepts regarding eating curd or buttermilk. In India, we say that it should not be taken in the night, or you can say evening meals. With evening meals, okay, then we can take it in the breakfast, we can take it in the lunch, maybe whatever is, irrespective of the meal. Okay, take it. See, consumption is more important in a day, so that has to be included. Include a 1 lemon in the diet. So it may not be possible to consume 1 lemon because of its concentrated sour taste in the diet. You can say at once, so you can make it solution like a drink, lime solution, lime water, and drink it. Okay, so with this keep it in a water, airtight bottle, and instead of drinking plain milk, you can plain water, you can drink lemon water. Then this orange, sweet orange, that can be included. These are seasonal, but whenever available, include them in the diet. Eat amla. I told you while discussing vitamin C. Eat 2 tablespoons. This is very important. Flaxseed and niger seed. Flaxseed is a very rich source of omega-3 fatty acids, and it is a very good source of soluble fiber also. These lignin and mucilages. Then niger seeds, they are very good. It's a very rich source of iron. See, as I told you about the protein, I did not discuss much about iron, but anemia is a common public health problem in the country, and 70% women population is anemic in India, if you see by and large. For its prevention, the major reason for having anemia in the country is the available sources of iron. They are not rich sources. I mean to say, they are not much included in the diet. People say jaggery is a good source. No, jaggery is a poor source of iron. Spinach is good source. No, poor is not a very good source of iron. So these are prominently included. What I mean to say, prominently included food items in the diet are not rich sources of iron. That's why intentionally we have to include some rich sources, and niger seed is one of them. And then whatever the rich sources are there, coriander leaves, curry leaves, we include them in very smaller amounts, and most of them they are removed while eating. The practice of eating is very bad, and curry patta or curry leaves and they are removed. So where do we get iron from it? So we are using for flavor and removing it. So they should be consumed. And Niger seed is a good source. It has 58 milligram per 100 gram of the seeds. 58 milligram iron, what I mean to say. So at least 1 tablespoon or 2 tablespoons, they should be included in the diet, and it is not necessary. We do have practice of consuming it in the form of chutney, both these seeds, and in the form of as a powder in some vegetables we do add it, and that has to be increased. We have prepared many foods from these two, we can say, oil seeds, and it can be, we can say, converted into quite good sweets and these savory products also. And for a good combination of oils is always good to have a healthy fatty acid ratio. So combine more than 2 oils, at least 3 oils. Eat at least 100 gram green leafy vegetable in a day. That is that can be eaten in any form of the vegetable is not important, but the consumption is important. So it is in the form of sabji, maybe paratha, thalipi, dal, or maybe any vegetable like. Then at least 100 gram of milk that should be included. It is not supposed to be only the child's food, but each person, right from the child to old person, needs milk daily, especially for the people who don't consume non-vegetarian foods, because vitamin B12 is present only in the, you can say, most of the major sources are animal origin foods, and except few maybe like spirulina, no vegetable or you can say plant foods have vitamin B12 in it. So that's why consumption of milk is very essential, that too daily, for supply of the vitamin B12, which is necessary for the maturation of red blood cells. And that's how nowadays many you can see people, they are found to be deficient in vitamin B12, and they have to take the supplements of vitamin B12. Instead, if we consume milk daily, maybe sufficient amount of vitamin B12 we do get from it. That is, requirement is also not much, 0.2 to 1 milligram requirement, micrograms, sorry, 0.2 to 1 microgram requirement of the vitamin B12, which can be furnished from this much amount of milk. Then 250 gram of seasonal fruits. Okay, that is very important. Fruit should be included in each meal. That is very, very important for most of the, you can say, water soluble vitamins, vitamin C, these different pigments, antioxidants. They are really, really very good to be included. They are tasty, have very good flavor, and round the year they are available on the market shelf. So include it. Then use multigrain flours. Use it. This is jawar, bajra, ragi, rajgira, bhagar. That is, this is the millet. They can be combined, and or you can grind it separately and combine the flours, or you can combine the grains and you can say grind it and make it into multigrain atta. For pulses also we can do it. Minimum 3 grains can be used, and these because they are rich in fibers, mineral, different minerals, B complex vitamins, and all these components now we have discussed this. I told you that they support the immunity. Then each meal should have raw salad. This is very important because cooked these fruits, the cooked vegetables, they will not have vitamin C in them. That's why some raw salad should be there in the diet. That can be a tomato, onion, cucumber, beetroot, carrot, radish, tender pod. I just given few names here which are available. And even some raw, these tender pods, they are good, like cowpea pods, maybe tender pulses are there. These tur and moong, where these moong bean or green gram, red gram pods are there, that can be included. Then some leafy vegetables also can be included in the salads, like coriander leaves, onion stalk, fenugreek leaves, saffron. Many people, they have very good habit of consuming these vegetables, and definitely you observe them, they are healthy. They don't suffer from the infections. The people who eat lot of raw fruits and vegetables, and their skin and hair also will be good. Fruits and vegetables, they should be used immediately after cutting. We have discussed it already. Then dry, yeah, this is also very important. When the gluts are there in the market, we can see now tomatoes, before few days tomatoes were 10 rupees kgs, or even less than that also. Many vegetables, they were coriander, a bunch was available for 5 rupees or 10 rupees. Such times we cannot consume them at once, but we can buy them, clean them well, and convert it into the powders. Even fruits also, they can be converted into powders, like tomatoes are there, maybe papaya pieces, melons are there, just plenty of sunlight is there, or even in the shed drying also can be done. And if you process them in this way, grind in the mixer, you can say just preserve them in the bottles, and they can be used very well. And they have very, because of they are in the dried forms, have very less moisture in it, and the shelf life is also good, and they are very rich sources of the micronutrients. Of course, some maybe what soluble micronutrients like vitamin C and all loss will be there from them, but many micronutrients, especially minerals and some vitamins also, they remain in this them, and they can be used for value addition of the daily diet. We can increase the nutritive value of the diet by use of these dried fruits and vegetables. We have to drink at least these 2.5 to 3 liters of the water in a day, but this will be changed. Maybe during heavy summer it will be increased, and if it is a rainy season or a very cold season, then little less may be there. And thirst is the best mechanism to indicate us how much amount of water we have to drink. Unnecessarily too much should not be taken, because it increases the load of renal system, and too less should not be taken. Also, it leads to many problems like constipation and other problems too. So, let be thy food, thy medicine, as said by the Hippocrates. And this is very, very important, not just for the immunity, but to maintain the good health also. Other than diet, other aspects of the these immunity, our immune system, or healthy life system, lifestyle, or exercise. I told you in the beginning there are 5 components. Diet was there, and then another is exercise. So at least 30 to 40 minutes daily exercise once or twice a day is essential. So it should be suitable to the age of the individual and the physical conditions, whatever they are there, that it must suit to that, and it will help to improve the immunity. It will help to improve the bone density also, muscle strength, and the synthesis of muscle also. And in all, in this way, it helps for the immunity. Yoga, we have such a beautiful science of yoga. We are giving it to the world. So we must perform it. Then different asanas. Surya Namaskar is very good for maintaining the health. Walking in the home itself, now we cannot say that that cannot be a self excuse that we are and in the, we can say, lockdown is going on, so we can't move out of the house, and that's why we cannot exercise. It's not like that. We can walk in the home itself. So we can say jogging can be performed, push-ups, weight lifting, that these also type of exercises, they will be helpful for maintaining the immunity. Then in addition, breathing exercises are very, very important for immune function of the body. So best is pranayam. You perform it daily, and now pranayam has, through different medias, it has reached to the each house, and everyone knows that at least simple types, they can be performed regularly by each person. Then daily exposure to sun, as I said, 20 to 30 minutes is essential. Okay, this is also very important. Sleep, that is the rest. 7 to 8 hours of the rest is very, very important, because if we are having less sleep, it makes us susceptible to viral and these bacterial infection. Because the reason for this is cytokines is a protein which is important for functioning of the immune system, and if we don't have the adequate sleep, this will not be synthesized much, and it will be reduced if we have inadequate sleep. That's why the night sleep for 7 to 8 hours is very, very essential. Our body is programmed like that. that during daytime, the catabolic functions will be performed, and during night time, the anabolic functions are performed. So body must get sufficient time for the anabolic functions. Anabolism means, as I said, the cell destruction is continuously going on. And these cells, new cells must be synthesized. This is the anabolic function. Cell destruction is taken place when we are active. Energy synthesis is there, we are using energy, and the catabolism will be there such times. So this, and to maintain the ratio, good, you can say balance between the anabolism and catabolism, we should be you can say we should be giving sufficient time to the body for the synthetic function also, anabolic function also, and for that sufficient rest. Night time rest is very very essential, because our body is programmed for that. During night hours, the anabolic functions are taken, so that the sufficient cell count is maintained, or normal cell count is maintained, and different types of cells also will be synthesized, and which will help to maintain the immunity. Then when we are working for longer time, maybe even in the office, house, whatever it is, we should take little breaks in between and then relax for maybe few minutes. That helps. We can say us to reduce the different stress, physical, physiological, and mental stress. This will help for that. So as stress is deleterious, very harmful for the immune mechanism and to the general health. It you can say gives rise to many illnesses, and that's why we have to learn to manage the stress. We should not be taking stress, and we should not be giving stress also. This formula we have to, we can say, maintain. Don't give stress and don't take stress. So for this, we can practice meditation, which helps for, you can say, relaxation and reducing the stress or controlling the stress. And another very important to reduce the stress is maintain good relations. These relations, they are in the home, not only in the home, but at workplace and even in the society. Good relations, they must be maintained, and this help definitely will be a good outlet for a person to reduce the stress and ultimately to manage the stress well. Another important is maintenance of good hygiene, that is the personal hygiene, food hygiene, water hygiene, air and surroundings. That is very important. We have to keep our surroundings very clean. It is said that if the India becomes, see, the people, they visit foreign countries and say, after coming from there, everybody says that, what was the thing you liked there? Cleanliness. It was very clean. So it means we like it, but we don't want to maintain it. Okay, so we keep our house clean, but not the surrounding. So we have to, you can say, train ourselves to keep the surroundings clean. We have to maintain good personal hygiene. That is also very important. And the most important again is, which is dangerous for, or you can say which reduces the immunity, is bad habits. That is the habit of smoking, habit of this tobacco chewing, or in different form like mawa, gutka and whatnot. These cigarettes and all that. There are multiple products which are used with use of tobacco. That they should be, we can say that habit should be, if people have that, they must leave it, and in the, we can say, they should not start this habit or get indulged into these habits. And even the alcoholism is very dangerous. Narcotic drugs, of course they are. And now we know that we are very much polished. We say that we don't have bad habits and all that, but now the picture was very clear when these liquor shops were opened by the government, and then how the rush was there in those shops. That has to be somewhere curtailed to maintain good immunity. So my message through this is, through my lecture to you all, is follow healthy lifestyle, boost immunity, safeguard your health, and keep away infections, especially this COVID-19, so that we all can say, go Corona, go. Thank you all for listening patiently, and I thank organizers for giving me an opportunity to have a dialogue with you all through this webinar. Thank you.
Thank you so much, madam, for your valuable insights on immunity building. Madam, I am sure your address is going to help the participants a lot to modify their lifestyle and diet accordingly and improve their immunity. Ma'am, if you allow, we will take one or two questions before we end our today's session.
Sure.
We'll take this one question from Dr. Ravindra Marathe. He has asked, Madam, whether Ayurvedic Kada suggested by Ayush Ministry is helpful to improve immunity.
Yes, it is claimed by them that it is helpful, and instead of going into, you can say, having these suspicions whether it is helpful or not, Ayurveda system is our ancestral. We are following our ancestors since then. We are following it, and definitely these medicines are also helpful. So it's good to have it, as they have suggested the proportion of the ingredients, and if it is made as per their suggestions, that will be definitely helpful. That's in my view also, it will be helpful.
Okay, ma'am. Another question. It's from Pramila Buzade. She has asked that, Madam, frequently eating non-veg, will it boost our immunity or will it be harmful for our body?
See, how much amount you are consuming is very important, and there should be a balance of each type of food in the diet. It is not only the non-vegetarian food must predominate the diet, but even plant foods also should be included in the diet. That is our staple cereal also should be there, whole grains, pulses and all that. Along with that, some amount, what is the prescribed amount in the balanced diet, that is 40 to 60 grams in a day. If it is consumed, that may not be harmful, but one should see that the source from where it is coming, that is the animal from which it is being, you can say, sacrificed for this purpose. That animal should be healthy animal and should not be suffering from any infection. And even during the handling, that should not be, that is a age of the meat is very important, how long it was stored and all, because it is a highly perishable food and a very good medium for the growth of microorganism. And that's why one must be very particular when consuming the amount, and the type of food is non-vegetarian food is very important. So you can eat it within limited amounts along with these different plant foods and make a balanced diet, and it should be a healthy meat. Is it okay? Sir, you are not audible.
Ma'am, the last question is whether it is safe to eat raw fruits and vegetables during the COVID period.
Yes, definitely. You wash them properly. Then, like, you can use alum or some disinfectant, food grade disinfectant for washing the fruits and vegetables. Whatever from where you are getting the vendor is important, for market from where you are getting it. Is take care that it will not be, can say, infestation will not be there in it before bringing it to the house. Once you bring it, take care of the hygienic handling of the food. Maybe you keep it for outside for some time. Then once you bring in the home, process them properly, wash them with the alum water, and then you can use it, no problem. But we have to consume more amount of the fruits and vegetables to get these micronutrients from it, which are pro-immune, you can say, immunity.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Now I request Srimati S.S. Magdun Madam to propose vote of thanks for the day.
Good evening to all. I am here to present vote of thanks. First of all, I would like to thank our esteemed guest, Dr. Arya Madam, for delivering such an informative speech. I thank her on behalf of Rajaram College, our department, and all the participants. Thank you, ma'am. Now, I would like to express my gratitude towards our Honorable Principal Dr. Khemnas sir, who has always been an
inspiration and guiding light to us always. Thank you, sir. I thank all the members of IQAC, Dr. Athar ma'am, Dr. Katre sir, Dr. Devi sir, Dr. Pawar sir, Dr. Bhupre madam for technical support. I extend my thanks to the teaching and non-teaching members who have helped in connecting this webinar. I also wish to express my gratitude towards all the participants for their lively response. I also thank the organizing committee. Thank you one and all.
I request all the participants to look out for the feedback links given in the chat room. You all are requested to provide feedback so that we can send you certificates based on that feedback. Thank you, ma'am, for your valuable time. Thank you so much.
It's my pleasure.